Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
You know, this is really, really the truth. And for those of us that have traveled a lot, you know what I'm saying or about to say is absolutely spot on. The worst part of stopping during a road trip is knowing that all the really bad drivers you've passed are once again going to get ahead of you. How true. Good morning, welcome, and give us a call to be the Pledge of Allegiance person for today as Kate Smith comes in with God Bless America, followed by our pledge. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours. Zeb at the ranch on a Thursday, November 21st. And Thanksgiving just looming around the corner, as a matter of fact. And good morning to all of our sponsors, including our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best tires to get you through anything that winter throws at you on the highways. Stop in and see them today. Along with Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you going to be at Lunch Bunch?
I am.
Well, good for you. One of my favorite people. Thanks, Lorna. God bless. Have a good day.
God bless you, too.
All right, thank you. That is a wonderful lady. Yep, Lunch Bunch is today at 11:30. Don't forget it at Denny's America's Diner. We'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes, but right now it's time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by K&R Rental. Boy, I'm telling you, they've got rental tools and equipment for both long and short-term rental, and I'll tell you what, if you haven't blown out those water lines, you better get a hold of the equipment you need and get the job done. Going to be changing, and they've got all your excavators. They got everything over there at K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway. Hey, right now, Scotty, or is it Gina? Which one's going to do the weather?
We are one day closer to the weekend, and here's what your weather forecast looks like for today. We are expecting partly sunny skies, winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles an hour. We are expecting a high near 44 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit with a low of about 24. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 50, overnight low of 21. By Saturday, partly sunny skies, close to 50, 48 is technically the high. Then by Sunday, clouds are going to be rolling in, high of 51, and chance of rain and or snow showers. Sunday night, expecting a low of 26. That's a look at your weather forecast for 7:30.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Gina. And, of course, brought to you by K&R Rental, Roger and the crew at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway. I chuckle because there's no way you could miss them. I mean, man, if they got a front yard full of equipment. If you're not sure what you need for equipment, call them at 678-3122. 678-3122, K&R Rental. Merv May, come on in here. How are you?
All right.
right, hey, good set of steer calves there, here to $1.31, $1.31, $31.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best doggone auctioneer, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The sale that works for you, along with Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the whole staff at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, with the telephone number 678-9411. Sale day today at 10 a.m., and we've got a partial list of the run going through the ring today. J.R. Robinson over to Castleford, bringing in 45 head of wean calves. David Beck, Burley, 80 head of calves. Well, let's see. Will Billington from up there in the Richfield area, 25 head of heifer calves. Then we're looking at Tom Peck coming down from Cary. Some really good people up in that area. Semi-load of, heifer calves. Yes, sirree. Let's not forget that. And then we've got Evans Ranches at Grouse Creek bringing in 50 head of calves. And John DiGiorgio of Ogden bringing in a semi-load of 1,000-pound Holstein steers. Butcher cows coming in from Acme and Antelope Hills Dairy. Sale time at 10 a.m. I got to apologize a little bit. When I'm talking to Merv, I'm writing so doggone fast I had to hesitate a little bit and look at my notes. Sale today at 10 a.m. at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there, here to $1.31, $1.31, $31, $32, $2.5, $3.5, $1.34, $4.5, $5.5, $1.35, $50, $1.35, selling $1.35. Zeb Mel get bottom.
No, I don't mind that. I hope I do get it. I took some cattle in there yesterday. It'll leave overnight, as a matter of fact. Hey, caller, I'll be there in a moment. Stand by. I want to remind everybody today is Lunch Punch at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 North Oberlin in Burley. And we all get there at 11:30, and we do things the American way with the Pledge of Prayer and, of course, our national anthem with the beautiful voice of Linda Croft. And the food, phenomenal. Really, really delicious. And the service, of course, with the nice people, Michelle and the rest of the crew, really super. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, and we want to thank our gift certificate sponsors, Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, good old Doug. Hope he's feeling better this morning. And Denny's. Don't forget, that's today at 11:30 at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. And let me see. Caller, real quick. You are on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, I was concerned that Adam Schiff does not have a whistleblower. And now, at the end of the segment yesterday, he announced that there would be a written statement from the whistleblower. But yet he's never seen this guy. He don't know what he looks like. He's never heard from him. What a guy this must be.
Keith, I don't think it takes a mental giant or a rocket scientist to figure out that the lies and the changed stories and the additions and the takeaways from the Democrats as to what they're trying to perpetrate to get Donald Trump out of office and stop his reelection. It's so obvious. Adam Schiff is not respected by hardly anybody in America. This bug-eyed little man with a pencil neck and loose, ill-fitting shirts absolutely should have been replaced a long time ago. I have to really hesitate and watch my words talking about this man because I find him so repulsive.
How could you call what they're having now a hearing? A hearing is where you hear from both sides. Now, Adam Schiff only picks the ones that he knows is going to be in his favor. And we don't know ahead of time who they are or what they're going to be saying. But we have very, very little defense as Republicans. But I think the Republicans won that last round. Yes.
Well, I do too, and I think that they put Sondland, Ambassador Sondland, on the hot seat when he admitted in his testifying that there was no quid pro quo, and those words were amplified and emphasized, no quid pro quo, and the Republicans had every right, and they did. They pounced on that like a cat to a plate of milk, and it made Schiff and the rest of the Democrats, really honestly, Keith, be honest. Isn't that where the hearing should have stopped right there?
It should have done. But this morning they had this Holmes on there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he come from. I've never heard of him or anything. But it appears that he does not like our president.
Oh, I think that appearance is very obvious. And you, like they say sometimes on sporting events, you ain't seen nothing yet with Hill. This lady is the Wicked Witch of the West and flew in on a broom this morning. And I think the testimony until the Republicans get a chance at rebuttal is going to be very slanted, very biased, and very anti-Trump.
You know, this hearing today will be the last one till December 7th. And I am so tired of this. I don't think their listening audience is 10% of what it was in the beginning.
Well, I agree, but I think that date, by the way, I want to challenge you a little bit on December 7th. I would say that was very poor planning by anyone connected with setting the hearing date. December 7th is Pearl Harbor Day and the remembrance of all of our soldiers, and to put this kind of a fiasco and this circus on that day, December 7th, I think is absolutely ill thought.
Well, I remember December 7th very, very well. At that time, I was 4 years old, and my mother had passed away just 2 days afterwards on December 9th. I was just a young boy, but I can remember something was going on that was really bad.
Yeah, I got to run.
I remember December 7th, and I wish our young people would have more of a review of it, because it was an attack, just like Adam Schiff attacks us.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, there's no rebuttal.
Keith, I appreciate your comments. Thank you as always. You broke the ice this morning. Appreciate it. I got to run and pay some bills. Ramsey Heating and Electric. Don't forget, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. And they also get there early in the morning at 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. And it's not boasting. It's not bragging. It's a fact. They've got all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs and the knowledge to get the job done for you. Almost 7 decades of serving you. What more do you want? The best. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Really, really good folks. By the way, too, I know some other good folks I want to talk about, and that's Ark Animal Hospital. And they really care about your pets and your livestock. And they want you to make sure that you've got all the shelters put up for your dogs and your kitty cats, or for that matter, wind shelters and weather shelters for all your livestock that you've got right there on your place. I mean, hey, come on. Make sure they've been wormed and make sure they've got adequate supplies of water, all their vaccinations. It's time for you to step up and make sure they're taken care of with our friends at Ark Animal Hospital. Dr. Bill and the crew at 750 21st Street in Hayburn. Absolutely, they've got the warm hearts for the cold noses. Call them today at 678-1177. 678-1177. Caller, I'll be right there. I got to pay some bills. I want to remind everybody, too, about Dino's Septic Service. Oh, yeah, they do the job that you and I don't want to do. You don't want to be standing out there on Thanksgiving Day pumping out a septic tank going, oh, gee, I wished I'd have called Dino's. Well, do it. Call them today, 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service, septic tank pumping, backhoe services, liquid waste removal, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned. Yep. They do the job for you with a big truck that pulls in your yard that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service, absolutely the best. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, Deb, I haven't had a chance to listen, so if I'm not, forgive me. I guess I better get hurrying. Kevin McCarthy chose all these people in this interview to, rebut what Schiff is doing. And I'll tell you what, Mr. Turner, he kicked the major hind end, didn't he? And they didn't even know who that guy was. Of course, we know Jim Jordan. And last night on Channel 11, and Joe and Kelsey, I don't think they know much, but last night they ran that exact thing on the TV. Out of 3 years on Channel 11, whenever I did notice, they've never done one thing positive about our president.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday they had to run that Jim Jordan interview with Mr. Sondland where he had to admit there never was a meeting. And I said to myself, oh, my God, CBS News had to run the truth. It was shocking to be, I guess I was, encouraged, I guess.
Well, sometimes the truth is going to creep out from under the rug that people are standing on. And I don't care if it's local news or if it's the local newspaper, the Times News, and boy, you're hard-pressed to find anything of quite value in that paper. But sometimes it's going to present itself to the American public, and sometimes they just can't run away from the truth.
Well, last night, they stand there. Everybody stands up and does the news now.
Yeah.
That's cool, And so I just was shocked that they ran it. But you see, it's been everywhere. And, yesterday when Schiff went out at halftime and said, we've won the game. And then in the third and fourth quarter, the Republicans who finally got a chance to do their job kicked the major behind, and everything's changed now. I just can't imagine. Even Ken Starr had to admit that he was wrong. They never admit it, but they have to say, the truth is on the wall here. And so, Jim Jordan and Turner and the others that have done this, thank God for them, because if Mr. Mike Simpson was doing it, it would have been, a softball right over the plate that you could have hit out of the park.
Well, I'll tell you what, Radcliffe and Nunez and Jordan and the list goes on of Republicans, and especially that lady. They're very poignant, very direct in their questioning, and they know what path they want to go down, and boy, bingo, they get the answers. Randy, you got to run, buddy. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, I want to remind you, happy Thanksgiving wishes from Senator Kelly Anthon and his family. Senator Kelly Anthon from District 27. He says thank you to everybody that voted him in as your senator, and he wants to wish you and your family the happiest, most blessed, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, Seat B, wishes all of his constituents a very happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving is a big day. We've got so much to be thankful for. And Representative Fred Wood and his family, to you and yours, happy Thanksgiving. Along with the Representative Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, and of course, Scott Bedke up at Oakley, his family, to your family, happy Thanksgiving. And of course, this is a man that really cares about representing our state of Idaho. Representative and Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, happy Thanksgiving. Calls are welcome, 436-2244. 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call on the landline. Before I take this call, I also want to quickly remind everybody about Rick over at Mountain Transmissions, 504 East Main Street in Burley. I tell you what, he wishes you a very happy Thanksgiving. And by the way, if the old transmission in your vehicle is not functioning properly, in other words, park means drive, reverse means go ahead, he better look at your transmission on your vehicle. Free estimates and free diagnosis. Give them a call, 678-9110. Mountain Transmissions, wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. It's Joe with the menu for the Burley Senior Center. Today we're having turkey There'll be a Thanksgiving turkey dinner at the Burley Senior Center. There's no charge. Free will offering will be accepted. It'll go to help the Meals on Wheels. Also, on December 12th, they're having a prime rib dinner. Only 75 tickets are available, and you have to pick them up at the Senior Center in advance.
Holy smokes, you got a bunch of good eating coming on.
Thank you for letting me come on with those announcements.
Joe, you're so welcome. Take care of yourself, my dear, dear friend, and I want to wish you a couple of days ahead of time happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you and your staff.
Thank you very much. What a nice man. Thank you. Senior Center on Overland, and really good food. Stop in and help support them today. Have you ever really wasted a day of your life? I felt like it did yesterday. Yesterday, I had to take some steers to the sale yard, and I missed about 2 hours. I missed about 2 hours of the challenging to watch impeachment inquiry. And I try to take notes on all this to relay that information in an honest fashion to you, the audience. Because I feel that we can be much more honest and succinct about what's being said and what was said than the absolute slanted, biased broadcasters that are on your television. The Democratic debate followed last night, the hearing, and it was one jam-packed day of, I better watch what I say here, baloney. My eyes are weary and my soul aches for this monkey organ grinder mess to be over. This is so pitiful and so harmful to the United States of America, and nothing is being addressed, nothing is being done for us. The case against Donald Trump is one of the most phony and challenging cases I've ever seen in my life because the nincompoops are in control. That's what they are. It's a nothing burger. There is no definite crime. There is no definite basis for all of these attacks. It's all hearsay and presumptions. And I dare anybody to tell me I'm wrong. It's all hearsay. Second, third, fourth, fifth party. Well, Uncle Joe heard it from Robbie down at the corner drugstore, and Robbie, of course, ran up the street and talked to his Uncle Bill that was sitting in a lawn chair. I mean, this is absolutely stupid. And to this date, no crime, serious or not. And the Democrats' big kahuna, this Sondland, came right out yesterday when he was questioned and said, no, there was no quid pro quo. What? Why, Adam Schiff had his little neck in his bigger size shirt just absolutely puff out and his eyes bugged out, and I thought he was going to jump out of his chair. It was testified there is and was no quid pro quo. Means I'll give you this if you give me that. Then some of the most incredibly, I hope you saw this man because he made a complete fool out of himself, and it was incredibly stupid from Democratic Congressman Heck as he leaned forward in his chair like he was some omnipotent God that was going to lean forward and look down on the little people. And he said to one of the witnesses yesterday, I'm going to give you an opportunity to display leadership to support Ambassador Ionovich. That was so sanctimonious. That was so I. And when he said that, I leaned forward in my lazy boy and I wanted to take off one of my Justin boots and hurl it at that nice 60-inch TV screen we have, but then I thought better of that as an option. It's absolutely crazy, the heavenly-like atmosphere the Democrats are trying to display when they're basically the party that goes against God. But to say something so sanctimonious as, I'm going to give you an opportunity to display leadership to support Ambassador Ionovich, that was crazy. The President of the United States can replace any doggone person he wants from any position. He has that power. Not doing the job, bingo, out, you're working at Walmart. And I am sick and tired of Adam Schiff with his sanctimonious, I use the word sanctimonious way too much, but his arrogant attitude. And if he weren't a politician, and he was not sitting in that higher chair than all the rest, I can envision him being a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. And his wrap-up of what took place at the event yesterday bordered on two things, the comedic and the insane. How he came up with some of the finalization of what took place yesterday, I scratch my head. Because it should have stopped. The whole thing should have been adjourned after Sondland said, no, there was no quid pro quo from President Trump. You know what, folks? I'll say this and then I got to pay some bills. America really is in trouble. Think about it. We really are in trouble. We are a divided nation right now, and I really don't see a Band-Aid that's going to try to put us back together. We're on the brink of disaster if we don't stop this garbage. Garbage. And right now, it's got to change. The restoration of American integrity absolutely is number one, and it's not happening. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You disagree? Fine, I'd love to arbitrate with you. If you agree, same thing. I'd love to have you on the air. Give me a call. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, and they've got three locations serving you, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. They've got all the big dudes, the Doosan wheel loaders and excavators, and the Bobcats, all shapes and sizes, to do all the leveling, new word, leveling, grading, everything. They've got the equipment that can do the job. You get a hold of them today. Burley location for Barry Equipment and Rental with a big sandbox out behind so they can teach you how to run the equipment. And, of course, Twin Falls address and Nampa. Barry Equipment and Rental serving you. Come on, callers, give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to get this in real quick because Kate Rogge called me a couple of days ago and said that on Monday, December 9th, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 11 o'clock, Monday, December 9th, they're going to have a special bred stock cow sale. And they've put this on now for a couple of years, and Kate kind of leads it off, if you will. And they're going to have 1,000 head of really, really good heifers and cows of all ages. And for consignments, call Kate Rogge at 431-0074 or Merv May at 431-5735. Now, I'll tell you what, cowboys and cowgirls, this is the sale to put together a really good string of cattle on Monday, December 9th at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 11 o'clock, bred stock cow sale. Don't you miss it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning again. You know, you have a fine young man that works for you. You call Wheels. His name is really Damon, right?
I'm not going to say anything about Damon unless he wants me to, but I refer to him as Wheels. That's his nickname, and it sticks.
Anyway, just so everybody knows who he is. You know, I've never heard him say, I don't think Zeb knows what he's talking about.
Well, he wouldn't be here very long if he did.
That is right. And how many of these people under the president's care and keeping would be allowed to stay after some of these things they've reported.
Well, turn it around. Hold the mirror in front of your face. When you were in the car business and you had your employees, and supposed some of the employees said, "Oh, well, don't buy a car from us. Go down the street and get it from so-and-so." How long would they work from you? Would they get a Christmas card?
No, they would not. And one of your competitors was making an announcement for another car company, and they just mentioned, well, I wouldn't buy a car from him. You know, to me, that was the end of his relationship with me, and it was.
Well, let me tell you something. Anytime I believe on my show, and boy, Keith, don't interrupt me on this one. I want to finish my train of thought. I believe on my show that I've been blessed with the greatest of advertisers. Now, when I say that, I'm very, very proud of the people that have put their money and investment into my program to advertise their products and their business. That's not to say that I'm slanting anybody else, but I honestly feel I've got the cream of the crop. Anytime you go out and denigrate a competitor in another business, you have lowered your standards and lowered yourself in the public eye.
Yes, and I notice you are very, very careful about not pitting one advertiser against another.
Won't do it.
And I really appreciate that.
Well, the fact is, you're going to have competitive businesses. You're going to have restaurants. I can't just have one of each. And you're going to have competitive businesses, but you treat them all with respect. You treat them all with the comments that are going to enhance people to try to stop into their business, and you treat them with the fact that they're paying my bills, and they're going to get 100% of my effort.
Well, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything.
Well, and that goes right back to these meetings of presumptions and hearsay and everything else regarding these so-called witnesses at this stupid, silly, frivolous impeachment inquiry. It is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And I hope, and I pray it ends by the first of the week.
You know, why isn't Schiff have to swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, just like the people he's interviewing?
His little parodies are so self-serving and so ridiculously off-key. I have no respect for the man. Keith, I got to run. I got to pay some bills. Thank you, and I got another call waiting. Thank you. God bless you, my friend. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
All right, sir. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have a ripping good sale over in the Rupert area this Saturday morning. It's the Scott Gardner doing business as Solution Machining, and their closing business sale, 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and you can preview the equipment from 8 to 10, located in Rupert, 634 East, 400 North. Watch for the sales signs, lunch by the Cook Shack. Lots of machining equipment, heisters, and forklift trailers, all kinds of items. You better be there Saturday morning at, of course, 10 o'clock sharp. And it's the Scott Gardner doing business as Solution Machining sale, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, when it comes to business, saying something negative about your competition is like a stake through the heart of you, the guy who said it. And, all I can do, it's like a Boise State coach once said, he says, I can't worry about what the other team is or does or whatever. Sure, I've got a plan for them. But he says, what we got to do is take care of ourselves. And see, when we start pointing fingers and our house is a mess, and we're pointing at the neighbor because we say his house is a mess, that when you go in my house, it's a disaster. The hypocrisy is sickening. Hey, one quick thing about Sondland. Two people said yesterday, I think Michael Savage and Newt Gingrich, if I'm not mistaken, on Gingrich, was saying he's from the Northwest. he spent $1 million to become an ambassador. So he bought his way in.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, when you lie under oath, you end up in jail. And he knew he couldn't lie to Jordan or Turner, but he owns hotels throughout the Northwest and other places, I guess, and he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And, so I didn't know that, but the fact, this is what both Savage and Gingrich said. They said that they were threatening his business, threatening his, personal life, and he was under a hell of a lot of pressure from the Democrats to come in there and try to make it sound, but you still can't lie under oath.
Well,
These people, these Democrats, and what they do to people, their tentacles stretch long and far, and, you've been beat up by these SOBs, too.
I've been in a lot of ring battles with them since way back in the early 2000s, and thanks to a very dear friend that I confided with when things were getting a little tough with the Democratic Party here in the state of Idaho coming after me like a cat to a plate of milk, it was through his support that I turned around and I went on the offensive and watched them, the Democrats, put their tail between their legs and run away. They are basic cowards.
Well, when you see, there's days when we wonder if we'll get justice, and it's so infuriating, you just want to scream.
I agree. Got to run.
We'll win out in the end.
I got to run, Randy, but you're 100% right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. There's a couple of things I've got to remind you of, and they're very, very important. Now, first of all, I want to remind you that coming up next Tuesday, the 26th, there's going to be a baked food sale and drawings and everything, and helping the proceeds go to the benefit for Rosie Cummins. And I just absolutely urge everybody to get over to Murtaugh next Tuesday and be a part of it. It's going to be right up there at Brad Perkins Community True Value, and they're going to have, like I said, raffle tickets available so you can possibly win some prizes, and the proceeds are going to the benefit, as I said, for Rosie Cummins, a very, very sweet young lady. And then on Thanksgiving Day, they're going to have a fun run, and that's going to take place on Thanksgiving Day at 9 a.m. For more information on this, please contact Shayla Hepworth at 731-1666. And then also, real quick, before I go to the weather, I want to remind you the Center for Self-Governance and the Crane family invite you to view the documentary Lavoy, Dead Man Talking, Episode 4, Hero or Villain. We had Leiden on the program yesterday. It's going to be at the Burley Best Western Convention Center, 800 North Overland Avenue in Burley, this Friday night at 7 p.m. Don't miss it, please. Time for the weather, and then we'll take some more of your phone calls. Weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And I urge you to give them a call. Make an appointment for a hearing screening today. Call them at 417-8799. 417-8799. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. And they can and will help you with your hearing health. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
We are one day closer to the weekend, and here's what your weather forecast looks like for today. We are expecting partly sunny skies, winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles an hour. We are expecting a high near 44 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit with a low of about 24. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 50, overnight low of 21. By Saturday, partly sunny skies, close to 50, 48 is technically the high. Then by Sunday, clouds are going to be rolling in, high of 51, and chance of rain and or snow showers. Sunday night, expecting a low of 26. That's a look at your weather forecast for Dennis Ryan.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, people that are professionals with and for your hearing health. Give them a call today. Make an appointment, please, 417-8799. Sometimes I'm hesitant to mention and drop names of people that I have met in my career all over the world when I have been contracted to do public speaking events. And my wife and I were absolutely taken aback in the last 2 to 3 weeks in the studies of possible suicide or not of the murder of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was the absolutely low-class multimillionaire that took advantage of so many young girls, and many of his cohorts and friends, many of which are big, big names in politics and also the entertainment world, were a part of this. I was, as I said a little bit earlier, shocked when one of the big names that was possibly mentioned in connection with Jeffrey Epstein was Prince Andrew. Now, Prince Andrew was a gentleman that I met along with my lovely wife in 2002 on our trip to Spain when I announced the World Equestrian Finals in Jerez, Spain. And we found him to be a very cordial, very courteous man. And we sat and talked to him at a table for about 15, 20 minutes. And when all this happened, it was a shock, really, to hear some of the allegations, many of which they're pursuing right now, to find out if Prince Andrew is a part of a very sleazy network that was created by this Jeffrey Epstein. And now, this morning in the paper, there was a story about how Prince Andrew is curtailing a lot of his activities on behalf of charity work done through the Queen and the family, the royal family. So sometimes when you meet people and you have a distinct impression of what they are, who they are, and what they represent, you may be wrong. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let me also say that to finish off a rather hair-pulling day, the Democratic debate, yawn TV at its best. You got to ask yourself, please ask yourself this question. All of you out there kind of look in the mirror and say, are these people really the best that the Democrats can muster to have possibly the nomination to run for the presidency? Oh, my goodness. I mean, look at them. Look at them. And they either hate the rich and the people that are the doers and the people that have been successful and the people that have worked hard to accomplish something and the people that are hiring a lot of people and the people that are creating jobs and the people that are starting great big huge corporations, or they want everything free, or my goodness, they want open borders, everybody, y'all come on in. And this is just lunacy. The Democrats are the poster child for evil as far as I'm concerned. There wasn't one of them standing up there last night that you'd want to even give a quarter to. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
No, could I give you just a little more credence? Your opening statement this morning about on the freeway and everything, how people pass you and then you stop in a town and you get back on the freeway and they got behind you somehow. That really
no, they got ahead of you.
Funny because I've had that happen to me so many times when I was in my big auto transport going to California, and I'd leave Wells and make it to Reno, and I'd see cars pass me and going like heck, and pretty soon they're passing you again.
Yeah.
And it just goes on, and we basically get to Reno at the same time. So why hurry when the goalpost is still in the same place?
Well, I really appreciate you changing subjects on me there, Keith, but I appreciate your call as always. God bless you, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I really would appreciate, and I mean this, I say this almost every day on the program, that some of the left, and you don't have to give me your name, you can sit there and be incognito, you can sit and hold your telephone in your little room and know that nobody's going to know who you are. You can call and you can tell me how wrong we are. You can tell us how wonderful the Democratic possible nominees are. You can tell me how terrible our economy is. You can tell me how bad the Trump administration is. But they won't. They won't call the program. And they won't voice their opinion. But they will wait until after the show's over and then call and lambast me on my cell phone, which I freely give out the number, 312-2976, or they send me an email in condemnation of my stance on various issues. Boy, that's courageous. That's a John Wayne attitude. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm just adding up everything that has been talked about this morning, and I just want to add that the strength of this nation is what we are doing behind the scene. We can let all this stuff go by, but the backbone is the people of this nation holding it together.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the flyover country. It's the supposed Democrats flyover states that are not worthy. It's the Montanas, the Idahos, the Utahs, the Colorados, the Kansas, etc. And the backbone of this country is still alive and well.
And that's where the credit goes to those people.
I agree. Earl, hold down the mountain. All right, buddy. God bless you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care. Thank you so much.
Yes, you too.
Thank you. Caller, I've got time for one more call. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. The only ammunition the Democrats have now is to play that stalling game, and hopefully something comes up that will put the heat on Donald Trump. The Democratic Party is going nowhere.
Well, they are going someplace. They're going right over a cliff. I mean, they've got their foot on the accelerator, and they're playing Thelma and Louise with the entire Democratic Party, and they're driving over a cliff as far as I'm concerned.
Well, a lot of those people are going to keep trying, and one of these days that a lot of them are hoping that they'll be able to hammer and sickle will be flying over the White House. But that's not going to happen.
Tony, let me ask you real quick, and please do not take this as rudeness, but at your next birthday, how many years on this great earth are you going to be celebrating?
90.
90. I have the utmost respect for you and your ability and your sharp, keen mind. Have you ever, in all your years on God's earth, seen anything that is so serious and potentially so ravaging against what our country stands for as to where we are now?
No, this is the first thing. You know, the Bible has got it pinned down to what's going to happen to this earth. We're going to be overpopulated. There's not going to be enough food because all the houses are being built on our farmlands, and there's going to be disease and pestilence, and I really believe that the Bible, what they're speaking about, is going to come true, and I don't know if we're going to be able to put a stop to it or not.
I agree. Tony, you and Mary mean a lot to us. God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
Well, Mary will be 90 next week.
Well, would you please go over and give her a great big kiss from me? Okay. God bless you, man. Thanks so much. I will. Thank you so much. They are wonderful, wonderful people. Want to remind you, too, about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with absolutely the best of tires, best of tread designs, all the sizes, that you can get through anything that the weather throws at you on the highways and byways. Let me tell you, they've got all your winter tires. They've got all your tire chains. Don't put it off. Get in there and see any one of the 7 locations today. And also for the the best of brake service and front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more with the best of service. They take care of you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. A quick note, and write this down or file it in the back of your mind. Starting the first week of December, you can win a Christmas ham by listening to Zeb at the Ranch. Stay tuned for more details. Yes, sirree, Bobby. We're going to go to the news next from CBS. Oh, good morning. Oh, we look way off to the north and we see some blue sky, and then we look right overhead and it's not that way. Anyway, good morning, Zeb at the Ranch on this Thursday, November 21st, and welcome to Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of winter tires to get through whatever the weather throws at you. And don't forget, too, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our friends at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. I want to remind everybody a little bit later on, about 17 minutes, we're going to be hearing from Nick at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call for an appointment. They can help you. They will help you with excellent exercises and the use of that hydrotherapy pool. You better call them 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. They can help you get back to being you. I've got a brand new sponsor on the program this morning, and it's CBD American Shaman. And I did not know that much about these folks, and it's so intriguing. They have the essential oils from plant therapy and blends, single oils, roller balls, etc., that make great gifts for your friends and family, so you and they can stay healthier through the cold and flu season. You better find out more about this. Absolutely. Go into CBD American Shaman at 1259 Overland Avenue in Burley. They're open Monday through Fridays, 10 to 5, and they can help teach you about the properties of essential oils along with the benefits of CBDs. American Shaman, 1259 Overland in Burley. Also, our thanks go out this morning to our friend Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, always serving you and your family when there's the passing of a loved one with the absolute possible support and comfort, and they hold the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. I urge you to write this number down. 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward serving you. And beside that, also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Wonderful people. Right now, we are going to go via the phone line to and I want to say this up front, a lady that is the president and director of the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce. Now, she's coming in this morning with a record of 1 and 3 in answering trivia contest questions. Later in our interview, she will try to somewhat make her record better. Good morning, Penny Main.
Yeah, okay. Well, my odds don't look too good at this point, do they really?
No, because I really dug down in the dirt and I've got some dandies.
Well, I think at some point these tables have to turn a bit.
Listen.
I guess you're the boss. You're in charge of the show. It's your show, right?
Well, yeah, at least I'm the one paying the bills, so I guess that gives me the recognition, yeah.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to come up with something. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but, gee whiz. So we'll see what happens today, and then I'm going to have to dive in and give this some thought.
Well,
I know I can stump you. There's got to be something I can stump you on.
All right, well, I'll look forward to it. Now, get on your starting line. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Runners to your marks, get set, go! go with all the items.
Okay, yeah. We are kind of the hub of everything that's going on in the communities around here. So let me just roll through these really fast. So you kind of have an idea of what's going on. And I'm sure we've missed some. I mean, there are so many things going on. We try to stay on top of them. I do encourage people to get a hold of Vicki Perez, who's our front office director. If you have a community event, something you want us to shout out for you, especially here every Thursday morning, gee whiz, let us know and call us at the chamber. But a couple of things real quick. Vicki Perez has some great gift items out in the visitor center. If you're trying to put together a holiday basket or something fun for a family member or maybe your boss or some employees, stop by the visitor center. We've got some great unique items that might be perfect for the holidays. If there's something we don't have that you're interested in, Vicki will look and see if she can pre-order them for you. But you know, we're getting kind of down to the wire here, so we need to put in your order right away in order to get it turned around in time. So if you've got something in mind, stop by the visitor center. Let's take a look at some of the things that are happening throughout the course of the next couple of weeks. Kaja Festival of Trees is on now through Saturday. That's always a great event. It supports health care and other projects throughout the Kaja area. A $1 donation or a canned food item is your admission. And again, if you've been, lots of fun for the entire family. Beautiful trees. Santa Claus will be there. It will be held through Saturday at the Oregon Trail Rec Gym on Park Avenue in Burley. Bob Harris and his gang, gosh, I know he's been doing this forever. Bless his heart. November 30th, Century Stadium 5 Theaters present their annual canned food movie. Showtime's 9 and 11. You can choose from a couple of different movies. Abominable, I think I said that right, or Hobbs and Shaw. The admission is just 2 cans of food per person. All food donations go to the Christmas Council, and then Bob goes above and beyond the call of duty and gives all the proceeds from the concessions to Coats for Kids. So that's a great event. Followed the following weekend by the Caring and Sharing Festival to benefit Minidoka Memorial Hospital's programs. It's the 29th through December 2nd at the Civic Center in Rupert. That's always a great event as well. So make sure you stop over to the Civic Center weekend after next and check that out. Again, those support programs at Minidoka Memorial Hospital. Bama presents their Christmas Lighted Parade. That's always a fun event, Monday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. The route starts at Dworshack on South Overland. Dworshack Elementary heads to City Hall, and then afterwards, Santa's a busy guy, you know. He'll be there, too. And he'll have hot cocoa and donuts, and you can take some pics with Santa. And one thing I really want to shout out, this is going to be a really great event. This is the first time for the City of Rupert as they showcase their beautiful square again. It's actually a Christmas City Market is what they're calling it, and they've got lots of different events centered around that market area. It's all outdoors, so they'll be offering that the 29th and the 30th, and the following weekend, the first weekend in December. You can go down and spend some time with your family, check out the Christmas lights, lots of great gift ideas, and just a fun time to kind of create some memories. So make sure you check that out on the square downtown. Also, we don't want to forget about our friends at VFW Post 3043. Had a great meeting with them a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I'm meeting with them again tomorrow. I'm told this bazaar is a pretty big one. It's December 6th, December 7th, at their location, of course, at 554 Highland. So it's an annual bazaar. You can go and do some great Christmas shopping. There will be lots of vendors there, and, the folks at VFW are always doing something great in the Magic Valley to support the community. So we appreciate them, and God bless them. Last but not least, Gosner's Magic Valley Chalet is hosting their Boots for Youth drive. Again, they're looking for new or gently used boots in children's sizes, and those will be donated to kids in the Minicaja area. So lots. Seriously, I went to the St. Nicholas event Saturday night at the Burley Inn, and I know you know this, Zeb. I mean, I am never... I tell you, the generosity between these two counties is extraordinary. I mean, the way people come out and support, support events, I'm always so appreciative of that, of the folks in Minicaja, and they never fail me once. I've been here for 23 years, and I just have a lot of respect for how people really suit up and show up and support these events. It's awesome. So save the date, January 30th, the installation banquet. We've got table sponsors. They're being chewed up fast. Deb, I know we have one, I think, with you, so that's awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Again, that's January 30th. If you want to reserve a table, call us now so you can be part of that big event. So, again, shout out if you'd love to be part of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. We would love to have you. Lots of different ways to network with folks, and we so appreciate our current members, and we're looking to grow that next year. So if you want to be part of that, let's get with you and see what we can do to help you. You can head to our website, minicassiachamber.com. Like us on Facebook. We're here typically Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or give us a call at 679-4793. Whew, I'm finished now. Okay.
Do you have a sofa in your office?
Well, that's kind of a personal question, but no.
Well, I would suggest that you call one of the furniture dealers and have one sent over, and then have someone of your staff get a cold, wet wash rag, put it on your forehead, and then if there's oxygen available, please partake of.
Yeah, that's probably a great idea. I'll talk to my board of directors about that.
Okay.
I'll see what they do. Yeah.
Are you ready for the question?
No, but I'm getting it anyway.
Okay,
so
here we go. Here we go. This one I think is going to hit a home run. Remember the TV series MASH?
Yes.
Who was the actress that played Nurse Margaret O'Houlihan?
Oh my gosh, Zeb, it's right on the tip of my tongue, her name. Oh no.
You're close. You're close. You almost had the first letter.
Oh, darn it.
No, that's not it.
I know, and I'm wasting your precious time. I can see her face. See, I can see their faces. That should count for something.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this little drum roll?
Give me the first letter of the first name.
L.
L?
Yeah, L. That helped you a lot.
How about the first two letters?
All right, O.
Ooh, oh, my God.
I got to run because it's Loretta Swit.
Loretta Swit. I knew it all along. Oh, my God.
I really hate to say this. Honestly, this hurts me, but you're 1-4.
No, you don't. You don't feel bad about it at all. I know you. It's okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take the lumps. I'm good.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a reprieve next week because I'm going to give you a 2 for next week.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. See you later. Have a great week.
Take care.
Bye.
Penny Main, President and CEO of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. I'm running a little bit late, and I've got to tell everybody about our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Holy moly, they're having a big doorbuster sale right now. Pre-Black Friday sale. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. They've got so many great things for you to go in and comfortize and beautify your home. 50% off retail prices on select items. Wow, 48 months, same as cash. What are you waiting for? Get the car started, Martha, and let's head down to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Oberlin in Burley. Great staff. They know all the ins and outs of furniture and carpet and bedroom sets, everything at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. You stop down and see them right now. Real quick, I want to also remind you about Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, my goodness. Yes, sirree. They've got all the snowmobiles. They've got all the snow bikes. They've got all the accessories. They've got a super service department to keep you running. Oh, my. All you need is that angel dandruff up on the hill because Let's Ride's going to get you ready. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Absolutely. And real quick, before we go to our interview, I want to remind you about our friends over at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, and they're located on Highway 24 in Rupert, right there on the curve as you go into Rupert. And don't forget Todd and the rest of the crew helping you with life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, everything. They are very thoughtful and caring and devoted to serving you. Call them, 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Right now, Nick Greenwell and Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation.
On the phone right now with the number one man at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Dear friend and a very knowledgeable friend, great physical therapist, Nick Greenwell. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Zeb. How are you?
I am really, really good. But I wanted to start things off this morning by talking about into the fall, into the winter, a little downtime, especially for our farmers and ranchers. Maybe they've got some problems that need to be addressed physically through surgery. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. We see a ton of post-op patients this time of year, Zeb, for exactly what you just said. We do live in a very strong agricultural community here where when it gets into this time of the year and we've got the crops out, we've got the cows in and all that stuff, people have a little bit more time to address their medical issues. And so oftentimes we see an influx of patients that get into their doctors to get that nagging knee injury taken care of or get that rotator cuff repaired that they've been kind of waiting on for a couple of years. Because, again, it's the end of the year, and a lot of times insurance deductibles have been met, and so it's a great time to do it. So I would encourage those folks that are listening that have those kind of ailments, if they're looking for a good time to do it, now is that time, and to make sure that they get a hold of their doctor sooner rather than later, because their schedules get pretty darn busy right now.
You know, one thing is, Nick, I'm sure that you'd concur with this, that a lot of people may be jumping out of a combine or maybe they got thrown off a horse gathering cows. They know they've got a little sore spot. They know they got some problems, and they let it go and they don't take care of it.
Yeah, we see a lot of things like that where, you know, I mean, we always try and be tough, and plus, again, we live in a community in an area that, you know, we have a lot of blue-collar stuff that goes on. You know, we're out there working, you know, with our hands and doing very manual things. And the problem with being too tough and letting those things linger for longer than they should is that oftentimes we cause more damage, and that, you know, if we'd have got in sooner and got it taken care of, we could stabilize that joint, get our mechanics working a little bit better, and prevent maybe cartilage loss or a further tear of that particular tendon or ligament that maybe we didn't have to. So early intervention is definitely the key to a lot of things, and obviously our doors are always wide open for free assessments on things like that. If someone wants to swing by or call and schedule an appointment with me or one of our other therapists here to kind of take a quick peek at something and just give advice on whether or not this is something that may go away, or if we need to maybe get an x-ray or initiate treatment of some form.
Well, that leads me into what I wanted to ask you about also this morning. I've had some people come up to me and say, okay, Zeb, you go to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation for your knees and your hips, but what's the procedure? What do we need to do? How do we get started with Nick and his staff? What do we have to get accomplished?
Well, there's a couple of ways. If it's something where we're going to see someone for an ongoing period of time to treat something, maybe a post-op thing or a lingering injury, Idaho is a direct access state, meaning that physical therapists can see patients without being referred by another provider. However, there's a caveat to that. If you're going to be using insurance, particularly Medicare and some other big insurance like Blue Cross or Select Health or something, most of those entities require a physician referral to pay the claim. And so most of what we see are folks that are referred by doctors. And so what happens is you'll speak to your physician about whatever the problem is that you're having, and most of the time, and again, I've been here for 20-plus years. I know all the doctors very well, and most of the time, if you call in or speak to the nurse or something and say, hey, my shoulder's been killing me or my knee's been killing me, I'd like to initiate some therapy, a lot of times they'll just fax an order over, or they'll ask to see you and do a brief exam and then write the order and send them directly to me. And so you would then call our office and speak with our the receptionist out front, and she'll schedule you for an initial consultation with me or one of our other physical therapists here, and we'll take you through the process from there of doing a very thorough examination and explaining to you exactly what's going on and what we kind of think our treatment's going to entail, how often, how long, what to expect that way, and that'll kind of take you through the end.
I want to back up a little bit, a couple of programs when we had Callan on the program, and we were talking about insurance coverage, and this young man is really good at finding out what people have for coverage or not, correct?
Absolutely. He's done a lot of research and has been doing it for a while for us. And so
that's the other nice thing is when you do come in for that initial consultation after we get done with our exam, if you have any questions about insurance coverage or co-payments or anything like that, I'll usually just grab Callan and pull him in the room, and he can either answer those questions directly right then based on his experience here, or he has the avenues of making those phone calls to find out exactly what your insurance covers and what they don't. And if we can get that information quickly, we can kind of alter things a little bit as best we can to make sure that you get the proper treatment that you need and the least amount of money comes out of your pocket.
You know, in my case, there's been some deadening or dying of certain muscles, and a fairly new concept is coming into play for me. I'm going to let you give the exact title and how it actually works.
So we're using a lot of functional dry needling in our practice now. It's something that is fairly new into the scope of practice in physical therapy over about the past year or so. And I've done a lot of in-depth training through a national company to get certified to perform this. And we use it for a couple of reasons. We've been using it a lot for chronic pain management, particularly in the neck and back, but we do it in other areas to help decrease muscle tone, muscle spasm, muscle guarding, and kind of reset normal tone there and help with pain. And we've had great luck with that. And in your case, we're using it for muscle facilitation. So we can put a very small diameter needle, it's an acupuncture needle, deep into a muscle, and then attach an electric stimulator to it to help generate a muscle contraction. And like I say, in your case, we're really struggling to try and keep those muscles working and moving and at their optimum level. It's been fantastic. So it's called functional dry needling, and it's something that it's made a profound difference in our practice in the way that we treat patients, both for chronic pain management and to help facilitate proper muscle recruitment.
And one final thought and concept of Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation is the hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind in this area. And water therapy absolutely is, in my case, it was essential, and it really helped me.
Yeah, again, it was something that's very unique to the area. We're super excited that we have in-house aquatic therapy. And again, we use that for a variety of reasons, and it is busy all day, every day, because it's such a unique feature here. The nice thing about it is that we can decrease the amount of weight bearing on your body, particularly on your back and lower extremities, to allow us to exercise it a little more aggressively and push things a little farther without all of that impact loading on your joint. So it's much more comfortable for the patient, very effective therapeutically. We don't do any undue damage, and you're less sore afterward.
And one other quick item I wanted to mention. You recently have purchased Elite Fitness at 1200 Oakley Avenue in Burley, and that would be an excellent Christmas gift-giving stocking stuffer, a membership to that fitness club.
Absolutely. Again, we're super excited about that acquisition. So we've already had a lot of our clients that are kind of on the tail end of their formal skilled physical therapy course of treatment asked to be transitioned down there to a more independent program so they can continue to work on things that are bothering them or to just stay in shape or help promote weight loss or whatever other goals are. And so we take them down physically and then spend a good one-on-one session with them to get them familiar with the facility and set up on a good, effective, comprehensive, and safe program for them. We're going to be running some really good specials after the first of the year for those New Year's resolutions, and so absolutely, Colin, give us a chance to run you through and give us a tour, and it'll be great.
I'll tell you, folks, this young man has really got his ducks in a row at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, and Elite Fitness at 1200 Oakley Avenue in Burley. We're talking to Nick Greenwell. Nick, to you and yours, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you being on the program as always. And before we go to our next guest, I want to remind you, too, about happy Thanksgiving wishes from Magic Valley Irrigation at 44 East 500 South of Burley. Hello, Jeff and the crew at Magic Valley Irrigation. They've been serving you since 1978. And they manufacture wheel line elbows, and they sell and service Cornell and Berkeley. And believe me, their specialists are serving you at Magic Valley Irrigation, and they they wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Along with the folks at Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert. My goodness, yes, they have all the new carpet you could possibly need, and they say, come on, just give us a call at 436-1722. Magic Valley Carpet in Rupert. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. And our old buddy, emphasis on old, Doug at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair at 635 21st Street in Heyburn. And he says, remember the true meaning of the season, how true that is, and remember our seniors and the senior centers. Happy Thanksgiving from Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair over in Heyburn. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I get a chance to get on the telephone line with a lady that I have the utmost respect for. She really knows and studies politics, and I would imagine she, like me, is about ready to have the candle burned out on this absolute incessant noise and mess created from the Democrats with this potential impeachment inquiry. Ay, 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 my grandmother used to say. Good morning, Rita Ramsey.
Good morning. I am burned out, so I thought I would just talk about Thanksgiving and food today.
Well, that has a tendency to burn people out, too.
But it always sounds good.
Oh. Let me just talk about one subject that I wanted to talk to you about this morning, and you kind of highlighted it, talking about food. I am one of these people that absolutely believes that our farmers and ranchers do the greatest job of anybody in agriculture anywhere in the world. And Wheels, we got a little feedback, ride the gain on this. We've got some people now in various businesses that are introducing, especially through the Kroger food chain, what they call plant-based meat. And I'm absolutely opposed to this. What are your thoughts?
Tell you the truth, that's the first time I've heard of that. What in the heck is a plant-based meat? Because cows eat grass and hay, and does it not all evolve? Or maybe I'm just...
Well, no, they've got it where it's just basically, in very simple tones, it's nothing more than a vegetable burger that has been processed to look like, and they say taste like, real meat, which it does not. And they're now starting to make innovative moves in various food chains. They're making moves now with like Burger King, and they're making moves across the country to try to get people, and this is what's so insidious to me, try to get people away from meat. Our meat industry is very important to agriculture in this United States, and I personally am going to stand up and condemn the fake meat.
Oh, the thing of it is, the veggie burgers have been around since probably as long as I can remember, at least the 70s, maybe even further back than that. They never were a hit, and I would be surprised if they become a hit, because people absolutely do not want a grain burger, because that's what it is.
Well,
it's just like soy and all that kind of stuff. That it does not taste like meat. It is not a meat substitute. If people don't want to eat meat, that's fine, but they will not find that they have enough call for it to make it a standard thing on their menu.
Well, the thing is, and you know this, the Democrats and people like Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren and others that are wacko for the climate change have pointed their fingers and said, well, we've got to get rid of the meat industry. That's one thing we've got to do. That'll help climate change and global warming. And this all seems like a very insidious plot to me.
Well, it is, and it just boils down to one thing. You know, we were listening to the radio yesterday, and the person who works in the next office and me, we were kind of listening, and I said, you know, this whole thing is just so out of control. This is about nothing but controlling us, being in charge. They want to be in charge no matter what it takes. They don't want to let the average person do anything on his own. And I came up with a brilliant thought. Oh, my gosh. Well, they even want to control the universe because we have global warming. I mean, how are we supposed to control the universe? But they want to, and that's what they're going to do. So it's all about control. It's about not letting us have the agency to choose and do the things we want and go about our daily lives. this stupid, not the trial, but the deal with the, all of a sudden my mind went blank on the impeachment thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're only doing that because they want to be in charge. They don't want Trump to be in charge, and they don't want American people to be in charge. And unless they are the ones who are making all the decisions and telling us whether we can go or we can't, or what we can do and what we can't, and the red tape just continues to mount, they aren't going to be happy, and then they won't be happy even within. And I think that's the very biggest problem, is there's a lot of people that are willing to say, okay, go ahead, I'll just let you be in charge of me. And we can't do that. And anyone who believes in God and the plan of creation and that type of thing, what was the big deal about Jesus and Satan? Satan wanted to take your agency away from you, and Jesus said, no, I'll let people choose, and they can do their own thing. And that's what it is. You go back to these people who just always want to be in charge of everything and say, you're just a Satan incarnate.
Very well stated. Now, we've covered food. That was the initial statement that you wanted to make. Now I want to go into the corporate boardrooms, okay? This last week, California Governor Jerry Brown signed into law a bill that requires public companies whose principal executive offices are located in California that they must comply, and they must, underline that word must, have women on their corporate boards. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's important to be diverse and have, a good variety of people. I also feel like that unless there's just really, really, really substantiated bias, people need to earn a spot. And it shouldn't matter who they are or what color pants they wear, or what color their skin is, or what religion they are, or anything else. They need to earn their spot, and if they earn that spot, there shouldn't be any question. If women are more capable than men at specific things, then okay, fine. I will tell you a number of times, and I've said this for years, I would not want to be, and this is because this is our business, I work a lot of hours and I have a lot of responsibility, but I would not want to be an electrician who has to pull that big cable through conduits and unload big wire reels and do all that manual labor kind of stuff. That's just our business, and heating the same, crawling down under floors, trying to get heat runs into somebody's various different rooms in their houses and that kind of stuff. I say that's guy stuff. That's me. There are some women who want to do it, and okay, fine, but I just think that you need to earn your spot, and wherever your spot is, that's up to you. This business of saying we're going to have a certain amount here and a certain amount here and a certain amount of this and that and the other is just a bunch of baloney.
Whatever happened in this country of being appointed or being elevated in the business world by your merit and how hard you work and how good you are?
Well, I think that kind of went out about 20 years ago, and maybe it was even a little further ago than that. Maybe it was 25 or 30. I can't remember, because I think it was kind of even happening when I had kids in school, and my youngest has been out of school now for 19 years, so I guess it was probably 30 years ago maybe, when everybody got a trophy, and we had to say, oh, you did so good, even if they got all of them wrong, because they didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Now we're having the backlash, so that we have to have everybody has feel good, and when that happens, quality goes down. You don't get the people who are striving to be the best, because there's not much competition out there. I will say, however, I know a lot of kids in the 30 to 40-year-old age, and some even younger, who are excellent people, and they're striving to do their best, and they're working hard, and they don't have to be patted on their little hands saying, oh, you did so good today. I'm so proud of you.
Well, I agree with everything you've said, but I'll go even into athletics on this diversification. I mean, the silliness, and I'm going to underline that word and use it, the silliness of forcing and coercing owners of various sports teams or whatever to hire a person of a certain race. Maybe that person or groups of persons are not at all elevated to the point where they should lead the team as a coach or whatever, but now with all these stupid, frivolous rules and regulations, like with this one in California that says that companies that don't comply with this diversity law to put women on their board of directors are going to be fined $100,000, and if they don't change, they're going to draw another $300,000 fine. That's not putting the best person in the position. That's being coerced with arm twisting to go ahead and fill this diversity campaign.
Well, that's exactly right. And the thing of it is, with that particular situation, it kind of bounces back and forth, just like we've talked about with the NFL, and I'll get into that just a second later. But with that particular thing and saying you have to do this or else, the first thing that needs to happen is you need to have all these people, whoever this affects, and it would be tons and tons of companies, gather together and say, we need to come to an understanding here. And even though you have those rules and those laws, that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to have them. But I think that they need to put the burden, and I don't know, maybe this is really wrong. I think they need to put the burden on somebody who says, well, I was passed over from a promotion because I was a woman, and they took the guy who wasn't as qualified. Have them come out and say, okay, show me.
Yeah.
Show me how he is qualified over me. Just show me. Instead of saying, this is the law and you will have so-and-so. Because we know that this is the same way in colleges and when they accept people and say, well, we have to have a certain amount of this gender and we have to have a certain amount of this skin color and we have to have a certain amount of this religion in here so that we're all diverse. Well, do you want that type of a person to be the one who operates on you that is something really critical and life-threatening?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want the guy who went through the whole thing because he was good and he did his work and he didn't have anybody give him any breaks and say, well, because you're the right color guy or have the right nationality or anything else, we're going to give you this position, and it doesn't matter what your qualifications are.
Well, I think it all goes back to two words. And those two words are work ethic. If you're not good enough, and if you're not going to pursue to 100% of your effort to attain or achieve something, you don't deserve to even get a look at that position.
Well, that's absolutely true. And, the other thing that I wanted to bring into this was the way that the NFL handled all of that we're going to take a knee thing. That could have been squelched real darn quick if somebody would have had the guts to stand up and say, no, this is my business and you're not going to do it. And there was only one, there may have been two, but one that I know of, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. Owner said, hey, we're not going to go by that. If you're going to play for us, this is what you're going to go by. And
Absolutely.
The others just basically bent over and say, go ahead and kick me, and I'll just do whatever you want. And you have to have leadership skills and say, you know what, I'll be in charge here, and I can take the arrows. That's okay. And the other thing is we don't always have to be really rash. They could have said, you know what, these are the rules. You stand there respectfully. If you don't want to put your hand over your heart or sing the Star Spangled Banner, that's perfectly fine. You just stand there and be respectable. That's it.
I could not agree more. I think you're spot on. I tell you what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to get rid of our weather forecast real fast, and then we get a chance to come back and talk about the circus that's in town. Let's not forget our friends at Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane & Company, and Wheels. We've got feedback on this line. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company are providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area, and they have been for well over 50 years. They are the professionals. They are the best at what they do. With tax return preparation, business consulting, payroll services, retirement planning, the list goes on and on how they can serve you, your family, and your business. With offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
We are one day closer to the weekend, and here's what your weather forecast looks like for today. We are expecting partly sunny skies, winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles an hour. We are expecting a high near 44. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit with a low of about 24. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 50, overnight low of 21. By Saturday, partly sunny skies, close to 50. 48 is technically the high. Then by Sunday, clouds are going to be rolling in, high of 51, and chance of rain and or snow showers. Sunday night, expecting a low of 26. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to everybody by our friends and your friends, too. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. And they've got offices in Burley and Rupert, and they want to take the time to say Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. Rita, I spent one of the worst days of my life yesterday glued to the TV set, watching and taking notes on the circus. Unfortunately, the circus did not have any monkeys or elephants or anything else. And then, of course, last night the circus continued, where we had the idiocy of the Democratic possible nominees standing up there and not saying or doing anything to sway anybody to vote for them. What a day. What a day. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it was just laughable. Every bit of it is. You just keep having the media say, oh, here comes the bombshell. This is going to be the one. This will be the one that sends Trump down the road. This is it. This is it. This is it. And they have nothing. And they have nothing. And they have nothing. And it just makes them look like they're just a bunch of dunderheads. And the part that's really sad about it is they're wasting the taxpayer money, just like they did with the Mueller investigation. 2.5 years. We waited for the big thing that was going to send Trump down the road, and nothing happened. There was nothing there. They didn't have anything. And it comes right down to the thing, and my husband has said this many times, and I tell you this quite often. Whenever the Democrats accuse you of doing something, you know darn good and well that's what they're doing, and they're just trying to divert attention so that you'll start looking in your court instead of looking at what they've got going on theirs that they have already done.
I have never in my life, and I'm an old man, I've never seen anyone that can act in such a despicable and yet childish manner as he is supposedly a representative of the state of California, and I'm talking about Adam Schiff. This man, with his little parodies that he writes and just enjoys every evening at the close of the session of this inquiry, are absolutely so far off base, but yet they twist the minds of the American public to thinking, wow, did that really happen? Adam Schiff is absolutely disgusting.
Well, he is, and I don't know if the tables could be turned, but I think there needs to be an investigation into him and the type of thing that he's been running. This is kangaroo court, and they're just making up stuff. They're saying, and I can't believe in my wildest dreams that somebody would be stupid enough to say, well, I heard that someone else heard that they heard, that they found out that, and it's like, so this is supposed to be credible? I mean, in our Congress, in an investigation, somebody actually said those kinds of things? That is just ridiculous. And it is absolutely sad to think that they can get away with that. You would have thought that there would be a screening process. Instead, it's just kind of like, well, we're going to get them out there and see if they can lie enough to where people will notice. And you said, you know, people are thinking and looking at this and that and the other. A lot of people look at the first line in a headline or even half of the headline and think that's the news,
yeah,
instead of reading the whole story. There's lots of people that will not do their homework. They won't get out there and look. They won't turn on news stations. It's just kind of like, oh, I heard that such and such, and they think that's just the way of it. And that's what the Democrats are hoping for, is that they can take their agency away from them by just keep feeding them stuff, and they just eat it and eat it and eat it and go forward instead of saying, if you think I'm going to eat this stuff, you're full of it. You're just crazy.
Did you happen to catch Democratic Congressman Heck, when late yesterday afternoon he was interviewing for his 5 minutes of TV fame the witnesses, and he looked at them and he said this, and I wrote it down word for word. I am going to give you an opportunity to display leadership and support Ambassador Ivanovich. I thought, you're going to give them the opportunity to display leadership? This chubby little fat guy sitting there in favor of Ivanovich and what she was and who she was as an ambassador, and he's saying that he's elevating himself to kind of a democratic god, telling them, I'm going to give you an opportunity to display leadership. That was so arrogant.
Well, it was, and the part that's really sad about that is everybody wants to be in charge. Everybody wants to be the one that can just get, they want to be the Pied Piper and have everybody just follow them wherever they lead them. Doesn't matter whether they lead them off into the ocean or not. They just want to be in charge because they want to get in their moments of fame. And it just makes you wonder if they hadn't agreed on key words. If I say such and such word in the middle of a sentence that doesn't really make any sense, this is what you're supposed to do. Lie. Don't tell the truth.
Yeah.
Don't tell them any more than you know, and make it sound like that the truth is not real. And I don't get it. You'd think they would go home at night and go, man, that did not go well at all. We can't have another day like that happening, because if you start looking at polls, with every day that they do this stupid stuff, people are getting less and less interested in it and saying they're just a bunch of kooks out there.
Yeah.
And the support grows on Trump's side instead of their own. That's what they were trying to do, is discredit Trump.
Real quick on this, and I'm not saying this, and again, Wheels, watch the feedback. I'm not saying this to be denigrating or derogatory towards Joe Biden. I'm just stating a fact. Every single time I see him or read about him and his gaffes and his lack of knowledge, his lack of mental stability, it gets worse. And last night during the debates, it's the truth. He made a fool of himself.
Well, I saw a little clip last night. I was watching the Fox News just to kind of see how it all turned out, because I wasn't near radio where I could listen to all of the proceedings and stuff yesterday, and the couple of clips that they showed, it looked like Biden had kind of actually not done so bad. And then, as I was pulling up news stories, it's kind of like, not so. He didn't change any. He made a colossal mistake about saying, he's talking about the black support, and there's only one black woman in the Senate, and then Kamala Harris goes, yeah, you're kind of wrong, but I'm one of them also.
Yeah.
And just, on and on and on, the things that he does and says, I don't know whether he's really stupid or whether he's getting forgetful and he's got a little bit of dementia or something, or if he's just thinking, well, I can just say about anything and I'm going to be the one that they pull in anyway, because that's how it's all been decided. And the more colossal mistakes I can make, the less attention they'll pay to me and Hunter, because we know we're in deep trouble.
Yeah, that's exactly the whole point. I'm almost out of time, but I can't say that you can discern which of the problems Joe Biden really has. But I can honestly say, from watching, reading, and studying everything these candidates say, it seems like every week Joe either forgets where he is, Joe either forgets his policies that he's adhered to and administered in the past, or he forgets things about people that surround him. And honestly, I just don't think his mind is functioning properly.
Well, I think he's just, I think he really is just kind of getting forgetful, and sometimes, I mean, you can look at picture after picture after picture or pose of him on TV or whatever, and he has this faraway look in his eyes like, okay, what was I going to say? Oh, shoot. And it's kind of like, maybe you're not the guy for the job. And if he was really smart, he wouldn't have got into the race. He would have laid low so that none of this about his son or him possibly being involved in nefarious things with other countries and his power and so forth. He would have said, we just don't need attention to that, and I'm just going to I'm going to go back home and spend time with my family.
There you go. Rita Ramsey, God bless you for being on the program. Thank you so much for your input, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Thank you much. Hey, about this time of the day, if you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go. Oh, boy, do I, like the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main Street in Burley. They've got pumpkin shakes. They've got eggnog shakes. They got all the burgers. Oh, my goodness. Have you listen to this. How about a great big eggnog shake with a famous Farmer Brown burger and fries and special sauce? Woo! Knock your boots off delicious at the AC Drive-In on East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley? They've got pumpkin empanadas. Oh, my. Along with the street tacos and all the breakfast burritos. And now they're doing the DoorDash. Go online and order, have it delivered to you. Oh, my goodness. Great place for your friends and you to go and enjoy great food. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Burgers, etc. has two locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, look out, corn dogs and burritos only $1.39. And I'll tell you what, they've got a different soup every day. You're going to love it Monday through Friday. Nice people serving you at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's at 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. What a great place to go with your friends when you don't want to cook supper. Just stop into Steve-O's. And don't forget, they've got those cheesy broccoli spuds and all the delicious menu choices, including the delicious buffalo burgers. All of this with a great staff serving you at Steve-O's, 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. Hey, we're going to take a little break. Wheels is going to take us over to CBS News. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, good morning. And the sunny skies are starting to take over more so than the clouds. And good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires, winter tires for whatever the weather throws at you. Stop in and see them today. Along with our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And, of course, Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Want to remind you, happy Thanksgiving wishes go out this morning from Butte Irrigation at 116 South 600 West in Paul, and also another location on Kimberly Road north of Red Cap Corner. And Butte Irrigation, believe me, they've got all the parts and all the brands, and they can help you, and believe me, they will get you wet. When you need irrigation, you need Butte Irrigation, and of course they have locations in Paul and north of Kimberly. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Along with Golden Valley Warehouse at 1000 South 468 west of Burley. The Adams family has owned this business for a long time, and they've got all the quality seed for you. Barley, wheat, triticale, oats, alfalfa, you name it. They are super to work with. Golden Valley Warehouse House, wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. And Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, like that lady. She is something else. 185 South, 600 South of Paul. And don't forget, she's got gift certificates for the holiday season to give away as stocking stuffers for Christmas. Oh, you better get a hold of her. Call her, 431-5667. Vicky's Country Garden, wishing you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. Want to also mention real fast that the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have a great big sale. Pardon me for that cough and that clearing of my throat. Cold won't go away. And the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have a big sale on Saturday, this coming Saturday, November 23rd, and it's going to start at 10 o'clock sharp. It's the Scott Gardner doing business as Solution Machining, and it's located in Rupert at 634 East, 400 North. Be there early for a preview of all the equipment at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, sale at 10, and they're going to have all kinds of machining equipment, Heister forklift trailers, other items. You'd better be there. Great sale, lunch by the Cook Shack, and the sale managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Absolutely. Right now, we're going to talk to a gentleman that is the superintendent of schools for Cassia County Schools, and we're on our segment called Cassia County School Days. Good morning, Dr. Jim Shank. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. Nice to have you on the program. Occasionally, when I'm here on Thursdays, I get a chance to visit with the various guests for Cassia County School Days, and I'm lucky to be here this morning to talk to you. And I had a note that says you wanted to talk about how the community can be a champion for their schools. What does that mean?
Well, Zeb, I've through the last 3 weeks, I've been going about our community and giving a State of the Schools address. And in that address, I highlight our performance, where it is that we're at, and how it is that we're doing, where it is that we want to be, and how it is that we'll get there. And so in terms of school performance, and this has to do with students performing on the state assessments, the work that's being done to try to improve that. And in the process, I think that we all need to support our schools in terms of being a champion for them. So to be more specific, and this presentation takes me about 45, 50 minutes to get through, so it's hard to do in a quick segment. But what I do, we've been talking as a district a whole lot about buildings, a whole lot about bonds, a whole lot about other things. And the reason that we truly exist is learning, teaching and learning, and what it is that students should be doing in terms of performance. And so I try to highlight that, and where it is that we're going to measure how we're doing, what's acceptable, what's not, all in the process of strategic planning that we've been spent the last year doing, and setting the standards of where it is that we think we should perform, and just talking about that, and encapping it by saying, they're our schools, they're our children, and therefore should we not be champions for them. Oftentimes I think the narrative can become somewhat critical, and it's not that we're afraid of critical voices. We respond to them. It's just I think that there's a moment when perhaps we're knocking schools down, and maybe it's not deserved at some point, and we should stand up and say, hey, that's not quite what I know, and talk more positively about school and become a champion for it. So that's kind of the essence around that.
Jim, I don't pull any punches on this program. I will not for any person or any segment. When you say vagaries of maybe people saying or doing or acting in a manner that our schools are not up to par, and a lot of condemnation, what are you talking about? Okay, so for instance, math scores. Let's just talk about math scores. Are we at a point, not only in the state of Idaho, but in Cassia County School District, when our performance comes out and we're below state average? Okay? So as far as not pulling any punches, I get it. For instance, in grade 5,
in math. The state of Idaho is performing at 45% proficiency, and in Cassia County, we're a little bit below at 41%. That's our reality. That's where we're at as a system. And so I recognize that, and we need to have a plan to be above state average and beyond that. And this is our plan, and this is what we need to do. Now, rather than saying we're awful, we're terrible, these sorts of things that go on, I would like to say, well, this is where we're at, this is where we're going to be, and how is it that we can get together and figure out how to get there?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it is that I'm hoping that people can come in and support in the areas that we need improvement. Now, I say that as in terms also that no organization's perfect, no institution's perfect. Everyone has things that they need to improve upon. And that's part of my presentation is, look, this is where we're at. I recognize it. I want you to recognize it. I want you to be informed. But also, this is what we're doing to improve and get there. So let's all get together and help our kids, grow.
Okay, Jim, let me ask you this question then, and I'm totally on your side, because when I saw the TV advertisements that show a school bus out in the middle of the desert letting students off, and then basically the taglines were that when you allow your children to be in part of Idaho education, they're going to be let off into a desert of not knowing anything and not really being able to meet the real world, I found that very offensive. But why and how have we got to these levels to where we're not attaining the certain levels that you as a superintendent want within the Cassia County schools?
Okay, so some of that has to do with what it is that we're using to compare our performance with. And this is a long discussion, but if we use the Smarter Balanced Assessment, which was created by a consortium, half the states use it, and that's the measure of metric, which is the ISAT. That's what it is. And that's how it is that we're doing well or we're not doing well. You have to know what it is that's measuring. If we look at the National Assessment of Educational Performance, which is a across the country assessment that schools take, and you compare that data with how Idaho's doing, we're doing very well. And so, but we're talking about ISAT because that's what it is that we're held to the standard to. Now, I would say that being dropped off in a desert, okay, nice tagline, nice descriptive, but not accurate. So, for instance, when you look at Cassia County School District student performance, we have 97% of our students at Oakley and Declo graduated from high school, 91% at Burley High School, and 91% graduated from high school. That's significantly above state average, and compared to nationally at 78%, we're significantly above national average. We're doing very, very well in terms of completion and students earning a diploma. There are other areas, like, for instance, Albion School District was recognized last year as a top performer in the state, or Albion School, was recognized as a top performer in the state for English language arts. And so there are pockets of great performance. But when you look at it as a whole and you use the ISAT as the only standard, and then you attach it to something being dropped off in the desert and nobody can leave with a decent education, to me that's a narrative that's just false. And I'm not going to buy into that. Because my own student graduated from Burley High School last year, and she's doing wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And I would also say that there's another caveat to the problem, if you really want to term it a problem, and that's the lack of input or the lack of being a part of their child's education because parents are not being active within the school district and going to the PTA meetings, etc. Parents have got to change their attitude too, and that will also help the students.
And I agree that there needs to be more engagement, and that's part of why it is that I'm asking people to become champions for their schools, is because we need you. We need you to become a part. When we ask you to participate in a parent advisory council, we want you to be there because that helps guide. It helps us determine how best to serve their students, and we do that regularly. It's not a lack of effort trying to get people to engage. I think our busy society plays into that. An interesting thing, I did one of these over at Dworshak the other day, and a couple of the parents said, "Hey, would you be willing to go over to Amalgamated Sugar if we could arrange that?" Because If you could give this report there, you would probably get more people to engage. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to travel to wherever it is that needs for this to occur.
The whole thing is involvement. I don't care what the subject matter is. It's all people's involvement and input and people trying to work with people to make things better. And it's a personal responsibility that if there's a problem, let's try to cure it. And if there's a problem in education, it sounds to me like you're on top of it.
Well, we're working at it. I'm not afraid to look at an issue. We call it confronting the brutal facts. That's a tagline from Jim Collins' work of Good to Great. I'm not afraid to confront a brutal fact and say this is where it is that we're at, and this is where it is that we need to be. Now, we got to figure out what it is that we're going to do to get there, and that's the work. That's the real work. It's easy to say we're not doing good enough. It's not so easy to pick us up and take us where it is that we need to go.
Absolutely. What about the people involved in Cassia County Schools? Do you feel that you have the staffing and the people necessary to make these changes for the better?
We're working hard. I think we've got some, if you will, the right people on the bus. It's just getting and working together and having the targets that are necessary to move us forward and knowing what it is that is. I think we have people of goodwill. Now, there's whenever it is that we're trying to rehire staff that resign or retire in this environment of the economy, and I think there are a lot of places that are suffering and struggling, there's not a huge, rich pool of replacements, and that's a great thing because the economy is strong in those terms, but it's not such a great thing when you're looking to hire a great person and there's only 2 applicants. But you see that around a lot in other places.
Real quick, Jim, I know that I have been a firm believer in not every student is qualified or should try to go to a major college or university, and there's so much to be offered in the trades. What are you, as a superintendent, telling these students at assemblies and everything else about continuing their education after school, not necessarily with a collegiate attitude?
Well, I would say this first, and then I'll answer that. We have to stop telling our students that if they don't go to college or get a 4-year degree that somehow they're a failure, because that's just not true. And so with that said, we have to build the context around skill development, certificate, accomplishment and completion so that they can go into the trades and have that opportunity and bridge built so that they have those skills. I attended the Manufacturing Alliance luncheon the other day and was speaking to some great gentlemen with Christensen Machine and, just having that conversation of what it is that we need to do to make sure that our kids have the skills so that they can go in and do that type of work. And so I think it's how we talk about you can have a great career, you can have a great opportunity to have a family living wage, not necessarily doing something that is tied to a bachelor's degree. We see it all over the place. There are many, many successful people who have a high value skill set that isn't necessarily tied to a BA.
Absolutely. I wish we had more time, but I'm out of time. Dr. Jim Shank, Superintendent of Cassia County Schools. Jim, God bless you, man. Happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for being on the program.
You too, Zeb. All right, take care.
Thank you, sir. Very interesting on behalf of Cassia County Schools, our segment. Dr. Jim Shank on our program this morning, straightforward approach to what needs to be done to elevate everyone in education. I really like that. Also, I've got to pay some bills. I want to remind you, before we go to our next segment, about 7K medals. You're going, what 7K medals? What's that? Well, I'll tell you what, I was introduced to this about 3-4 weeks ago, and literally, you can help yourself build your financial security and future through silver purchases that can be sent right to your home. And basically, you are creating your own security bank. And it's a savings savings opportunity for you and a valued treasure for your loved ones with 7K metals and the investment in silver. I urge you to call my friends Lon Hardy at 312-89, I said his number wrong again. He's going to shoot me. 312-8699 or Sharon Wilmot at 430-3259. Call them. Find out more about your financial security and wealth protection through 7K Metals, and tell them I told you to call. Please, that's 7K Metals with Lon Hardy and Sharon Wilmot. Thank you very much. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and I think we have a guest all lined up that I was really kind of hoping he'd stop by the studio and maybe bring some bratwurst with him. Good morning, Don Scarrow. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, it's good to have you on the program, Don, and I'll tell you what, this time of the year, I would imagine that Scarrow's Meats is absolutely getting there early and staying there late because we're close to Thanksgiving and all the holidays with the delicious meats from Scarrow's Meats.
We're past rocking and rolling. It's been crazy since the 1st of July. We've been working 6 and 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, nonstop since the 1st of July, and it's just getting busier and better.
Don, tell us a little bit about your operation. I've had you on the air before, but really, talk about the different meats. Talk about your website. Talk about how the public can learn more about what you have to offer.
The base of the operation, Zeb, is a custom meat processing plant, which customers raise their own animal, bring it to me, we process it, and they take it back and fill their freezers up. That's the base of the operation, but I do like to do further processed value-added products, so we have a little retail store here at the Jerome site, and we do everything from marinated tri-tips, marinated baby back ribs, and pork spare ribs, and this time of year, of course, our hot item is smoked hams and smoked turkeys. The turkeys are our big push. We do tons and tons, pallets after pallet of smoked turkeys, just mouth-watering, succulent, good, delicious smoked turkeys. Just, you cut into them and the juice just bubbles out of them. It just pours out of them. It's just, instead of an old dry turkey, they're just incredible.
Don, tell me this. I would imagine...
smoked turkeys.
I would imagine, Don, right now that if they want to get a turkey for Thanksgiving, what about, they better not wait too long, had they?
No, they better not. I brought in a little over 1,000 birds, and I think I've got 600 and some of them already pre-sold right now, so I got a few hundred left. They need to get on the phone lines, give us a call, get their name on a bird to guarantee one. This year I am going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go to Twin Falls Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and set up on pole line in front of Wilson Baits. They were generous and nice enough to let me take one of my trucks over there so people can pick their birds up in Twin Falls and don't have to drive all the way out to Jerome.
Oh, that is a good idea.
They call in and put an order, and I'll take it to Twin for them, and they can pick it up over there rather than come to Jerome, or they can just buy one from me right there at the location.
Absolutely. You know, many times when I'm doing your ad for the weather, I've mentioned buckboard bacon, and I can't tell you the amount of people that have called me and said, what the heck is buckboard bacon? Explain that for us.
Well, buckboard bacon pork bellies are very hard to get. All the big players in the market buy all the pork bellies up, so they're very hard to get quality pork bellies, and they're very expensive. So I devised a way to take a pork shoulder, Boston butt roast, bone it out, kind of fillet it out so it would resemble a side of pork, a pork belly, and then we cure it exactly the same as you would a pork belly, only there again I like to do value-added fun stuff, so we've taken it... and we do peppered and candied. We got one that is my favorite. We season it with ranch salad dressing. And we just call it our ranch buckboard bacon. And it is absolutely delicious. I cook a pound of it up at home, and I got a couple boys there. And I don't hardly get any. They slick it up so fast. We got to cook some more up after school. They come home, and instead of going to the cupboard for Twinkies, they pull out a pound of bacon and throw it in the skillet and fry up bacon after school. It's the craziest thing you ever saw.
Oh, my goodness, it sounds fantastic. Of course, my favorite meal, if I get a chance, is to get some soft sourdough buns and stick one of your delicious brats with onions and everything else. Oh, you've got delicious bratwurst.
Yep, that we do. We keep devising. I can't sleep very well. I'm always dreaming up something new, fun, and value-added to do, so we got all kinds of different flavors. If the customer wants something custom-made, they just need to call in and give us their recipe, what they want to try or play with, and we'll make it for them and have fun. We do have about 20 different flavors in stock at the meat plant at all time, from fresh ones to smoked ones and whatever they want. Cranberry sage is one. We got teriyaki pineapple. One of our big movers is apple cinnamon, jalapeno cheddar, smoked Polish and cheddar cheese. Got tons and tons of flavors that are really, really good.
Don, real quick, tell me, I'm almost out of time, but what's the easiest way for people to get in touch with Scarrows Meats? How do they find you? Can they call you? I mean, tell us all about how to get a hold of Scarrows Meats.
Yeah, the easiest way is to give us a call. 324-7657 is the number. We do have a website for the custom side of the plant. Like I say, the backbone of the operation is custom processing. We've got a website. They can fill out all of their cutting instructions online at their convenience rather than have to try to get through phone lines. But the easiest, and I'm personal, I like to talk to somebody, so I like it when people call in and get me on the phone and we can talk about different things and fun things to do with their product, and tell them what we offer for sale on the retail side.
Okay, and the hours that you're open?
8 to 6, Monday through Friday. I try to do things on Saturday, but I've just been so dadgum busy, I just don't have time to man the store, so right now it's 8 to 6, Monday through Friday.
I want to tell you, folks, delicious, delicious meats from Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The telephone number to call, 324-7657. Don Scarrow, God bless you, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, you too, Zeb. Thank you much. Good talking to you.
All right, my friend. Take care. Nice guy right there. Don Scarrow at Scarrows Meats over in Jerome. And right now, we're going to send this over to Wheels. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much and welcome back. I want to reiterate what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. Wow, have they got something special for you. Absolutely. When you go in and make a purchase, whether it's a home theater system or complete sound systems, car stereos and speakers, televisions, whatever it might be, and you're up at the counter, be sure and tell them what your favorite charity is, and then at the end of this month, Patterson's is going to take the cumulative account of what the top charities were, and the top two are going to receive $500 as a kind of a token of thank you to those respective charities from Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. Curtis and Lorena, the rest of the staff, there to serve you Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Please stop in for all your electronic needs. Patterson's in Burley. Really, really nice people. And before I go any further, also, I want to remind you, a brand new sponsor and advertiser on our program, and that's, of course, CBD Natural Oils, essential oils from plant therapy in blends, single oils, roller balls, which make great gifts for your friends and family. And also, you can stay healthier through the cold and the flu season. You need to stop in and find out more about the properties of the essential oils along with the benefits of CBDs. Come see them at CBD American Shaman at 1259 Overland in Burley. Once again, 1259 Overland in Burley. And they're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. Find out more about staying healthy with CBD American Shaman in Burley. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and a wonderful, wonderful lady representing Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn, and that's Kelly Wiggins. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you doing?
Well, I'm not too bad. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving and then Christmas season, and you, of course, over at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. My goodness, when we took the tour that day a couple of months ago, I was absolutely just awed by the beauty and the ease and the comfort of that for a senior living headquarters.
Well, we're pretty proud of our facility, and we're excited about the holidays coming up as well. You know, decorations, lights, special treats, and foods. It's just going to be a fun place around here. And you talked about our facility. We had something kind of fun happen the other day. You know, we advertised just before the movie at the Burley Theater, and we're sitting in watching the movie The Midway. And our ad comes on, and there were a couple people around me, and I'm like, that's our place, and they were excited. And then we had another friend say they'd gone to see Midway, which is a great movie if someone's not seen it, and they were there, and our ad came on, and as soon as it was done, there was a senior down in one of the seats below that said, that's where I'm going to go when I need it.
Well, wonderful.
And everybody kind of cheered in the thing. So it's getting out there. Our new facility, what it looks like, the homey atmosphere, and what we provide. The information's getting out there, and we're just excited about the excitement in the community.
What I liked about the 12-bedroom home and the kitchen area and all the amenities was that it was just like living in your own home, only you're going to be living there with your friends.
It is. And, you know, we advertise independent senior living, but we've really kind of rethought that a little bit. Maybe we're giving a little bit of the wrong idea because, you know, most people that are seniors and completely independent can stay in their home. And this is really a place where they can be independent within their own room and their facility, but we have special help. So maybe it's more semi-dependent, where we provide the meals and their housekeeping and a safe environment. You know, there's handrails down the hall and places to walk, where in our home sometimes it doesn't have those aids. It just allows the seniors to live independently, even though in a group with neighbors and community and company and jokes and fun and laughter while we visit and live life together, and stay as independent as they can for as long as they can.
You know, let's talk about some of the amenities over there. I mean, you have 3 meals a day, you've got housekeeping, snacks are there, you provide local transportation in case they have to go to the doctor or whatever. Anything I've missed, go ahead and chime in, please.
You know, that's pretty much it. The meals and the snacks and the local transportation when they need it. But I tell you what, with the ladies that are staying here now, our life just really is improved, is what we're seeing in them because of the company that they have. You know, some that spend a lot of time sleeping at home and not getting up till late. Here, they're just so excited to get up for breakfast, and they're hitting all 3 meals. They like the company. My husband's kind of a jokester, and he's good at keeping belly laughs going all the time, and just living life while we enjoy the amenities that are here. One other thing that I should mention is when we do need a little bit of help, it can come in, whether it's family or friends or a service agency. You know, Hearts for Seniors and Comfort Keepers and other agencies in the area that do home health and extra help can come in. We have a walk-in bathtub so they can bathe safely and enjoy their time in that care that they receive.
You know, what's the easiest way for people to call, and I know the number is 650-4979, and arrange an appointment time to come see these beautiful facilities?
The best thing to do is just to call ahead of time. You can stop by if you'd like. There's no guarantee we'd be here. Our residents would be here, but it's a secure facility, and so nobody can just walk in on them. So call that number. We'll meet you here if we're not always already here. And most of the time there is a staff member here, but we'd be happy to show you around and see what we have to offer. Also, you can go to GreysstoneCrossing.com, and we've got a beautiful tour on that place with a copy of our brochure and our applications and the list of questions that would answer what you may have. But
absolutely.
Really thankful for the phone calls that we received.
And, Kelly, real quick, tell everybody it's an easy place to find, but give us a definition of how to get there.
Oh, my goodness. We are within 2 miles of both exits that come to Burley. So just a mile east of Walmart on Alfresco Road, or a little less than a mile west of the highway coming in from the Wayside into Burley. And that's where we're at. Easy access for your family coming to see you. And I should mention one last thing, that we also offer stays that are short-time stays. And that's been pretty popular, where kids are going out of town, our caregivers, and they're going to be gone for a few days or a week. And mom or dad comes and stays with us just for that time, because they don't have someone at home that is their normal, regular lookout and caregiver for them.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, these are really nice people that have built a beautiful place for seniors to live the good life with their friends, Greystone Crossing. And the number to call, find out more, call today at 208-650-4979. Anything else, Kelly, before I let you go?
Well, nothing else. We just hope to see you there, and my husband will be at Lunch Bunch today, so he'll be there for any questions as well.
All right. God bless you, and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care.
All right. Kelly Wiggins over at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on Alfresco Road. And seniors, I'm telling you, this is a beautiful, really nice place to reside with your friends. Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. Let's see what we've got coming up next as I look through my pile of commercials here. Today's Lunch Bunch, everybody better be there at 11:30. We're going to be scurrying out of here in just a few moments, as a matter of fact, to make it there on time. And Lunch Bunch at Denny's, America's Diner. Don't you miss it at 11:30 today. Right now it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Just had Don on the phone with us a few moments ago, 331 North Road, Jerome. Or you can go to their website at scarrowsmeats.com and see and find out about all the delicious meats. And don't forget, like he was saying, only until Thanksgiving they've got delicious turkeys. Call and order yours today. They got a limited number, so call 324-7657. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
We are one day closer to the weekend, and here's what your weather forecast looks like for today. We are expecting partly sunny skies, winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles an hour. We are expecting a high near 44 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit with a low of about 24. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 50, overnight low of 21. By Saturday, partly sunny skies, close to 50, 48 is technically the high. Then by Sunday, clouds are going to be rolling in, high of 51, and chance of rain and or snow showers. Sunday night, expecting a low of 26. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it. Brought to everybody by Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Scarrow's Meats. And, of course, the telephone number to call, 324-7657. At Scarrow's Meats, they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Wow. Next week, we've got an abbreviated week because of Thanksgiving. And Monday on the program, let's see what we've got cooking. We've got Rick Manning, and Frosty Woldridge. We've got Fred Stark from Burley. An amazing story of weight loss, and I cannot wait to have him on the air. And then we're going to have our friends with the Pacific Legal Foundation on the program. We've got a week full of great guests leading up to Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. And I mentioned earlier this morning, and I know some people have already called on my cell phone, we are going to be starting in December, where you, by listening to Zeb at the Ranch, may be a lucky winner of a wonderful, great-tasting Christmas ham just by listening to this program, so stay tuned for that. Want to remind you about our major sponsor, and our great big thank you and shout-out goes to your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing some changes in the weather, like Gina said just a few moments ago. Well, whatever the weather throws at you, be ready with the best of tires, all the different tread designs and sizes for your vehicles. They've got them all. Got them all at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, including all your tire chains, too. So stop in. Don't put it off. Stop in and see them today. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service with highly trained brake technicians, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and so much more. But above all, the best in service to you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. I am going to turn this over to Wheels in just a second, and he's going to play a few tunes, and then hopefully, are you going to be at Lunch Bunch today, Wheels?
I'm going to try to. My grandma couldn't make it, but I'm still going to try to talk to my mom and see what we can do.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you there, my dear friend. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this week. With all the tumultuous activities going on politically, we'll keep on top of it and have more next Monday. Zeb at the Ranch, we always wrap the program up by saying the way things were are the way things ought to be. And 4 words that mean the most to us: in God we trust. See you Monday at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch. Have a good one.